gonna show you how I went from this to this to this. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel where we focus on growing healthy natural hair. Today I'm going to show you all how I did a Flexi rod set. It has been ages since I have done a Flexi rod set. I relied very heavily on them when I was transitioning to natural hair because I had a lot of straight pieces from heat damage or just leftover from when I was getting a relaxer. So I really needed something to help me to get curl throughout my entire head, but then also to help me feel more comfortable and used to seeing my hair in its curly state. So I used Flexi rods to do that. And ever since I got my hair cut, I stopped using Flexi rods, mainly because one, I didn't know how to apply them because my hair was cut so differently, and also because it was just so much easier for me to do a wash and go. I was getting that curl throughout my head, so I just didn't feel the need to do Flexi rods. But I do really love how the Flexi rod set looks in my hair, so I wanted to revisit it to see how it would look with my new haircut, and I decided to test it out with one of the easiest techniques that I know. So that is the technique you will see today. There are definitely other ways that you can apply Flexi rods. You twist your hair differently, you twist the Flexi rod differently as you're putting it in. But I think this way gives me a more consistent look whenever I do it, and it's just a lot easier to do. So that's why I started out with this technique, and I will show you other techniques in the future as I try those again. But I also wanted to bring in the Mane Choice products that I recently purchased. So if you saw my haul, then you know that I purchased a Mousse, some leave-in conditioner, and a bunch of other products. So I am going to try a couple of those in this video. So I'll let you know what I thought about those as well. So if you are interested in all of that, then please keep on watching and I'll meet you in the bathroom. So today is protein treatment day. So I washed my hair with the Rawa Hydration shampoo. Then I conditioned with the Rawa Hydration conditioner. And then I went in with the Shea Moisture, Manuka Honey, and Yogurt protein treatment. Now you want to make sure that your hair is completely detangled when you do this. So I detangled my hair with the protein treatment in right before I rinsed it out. So my hair is completely detangled already. And now I'm just going to section my hair into 4 different sections. And I am going to go in and apply the products that I am going to use for the first step. The first product I'm going to use is the Mane Choice Prickly Pear Leave-In Conditioner, and I'm going to use very little of that. So this is about how much I'm going to use per section, and I'm just going to completely rub this in my hair and focus on the ends with this product. And as I mentioned in the haul video that I posted, this product does not feel very heavy. So I applied a little bit because I do like to use lighter leave-in conditioners when I do my Flexi rod sets. So this felt like it was perfect for that. So even using that smaller amount did make my hair feel very moisturized, but it did not make my hair feel like it was being weighed down or that it would have a very greasy feel once my set does dry. So I did really like this product as I was applying it, and even as it dried, I think it was perfect for Flexi rod sets. And I am going to also try this with my wash and goes. So I'm just going to now apply the Mane Choice hair polish on top of that to lock in the moisture from that leave-in conditioner. And I chose to use this oil for this Flexi rod set because this is a lighter oil. I think that their ancient Egyptian oil is a little bit heavier, and I think it may have been too much if I did go in with that during the Flexi rod set. So I think this combination was perfect. And now I am putting that section into a 2-strand twist, and I'm doing that because I don't have a hooded dryer. So I want my hair to dry, and I want it to stay detangled, and I want it to kind of stretch while it is drying, because if I put those Flexi rods in while my hair is extremely wet, then it will just take forever for it to dry. So this helps to speed up the process and make it easier as I'm applying the Flexi rods. And now I will quickly do the same thing for the other 3 sections of my hair, and then we will go ahead and let my hair dry, and then I will be back on to show you all how I applied the Flexi rods. I am back with dry hair, so now it is time to unravel the hair, and then I am going to section it in better sections for the flexi rods. So as I am unraveling these sections, I am separating the shorter pieces of hair from the longer pieces of hair. And I'm doing this because my hair is cut in a way where the top part of my hair is a lot shorter than the bottom. So I'm going to use different flexi rod sizes, and I want to make sure that I am separating those to make it easier to identify what kind of flexi rod I should use in which section. And then I'm going to take those sections and make them even smaller as I'm applying the flexi rods, because I want my flexi rods to be applied to very small sections of hair so it dries faster and so that I get a better curl. So that's exactly what I'm doing right here. And you can see that some of the shorter pieces are still not in place, so I'm finding those as I go. And then I'm going to take it and put it where it needs to go with the other shorter pieces of hair. And then I'm just going to continue to do that until I have these sections that I need in order to make it easier and quicker as I go through the process of applying the flexi rods. Okay, so it's now time to apply the flexi rods. I'm going to use the smallest size and the second to smallest size in my hair today, and I'm also going to use the Main Choice Peach Black Tea and Vitamin Fusion Mousse, which smells amazing. And this section is definitely my trial section. You can see the section that I am applying the mousse to right now is fairly large. So I am going to section this into 2 sections, and as I go on, I'm going to use 1 pump of mousse per flexi rod. So I am applying the mousse first to my hair, of course, and taking it all the way down to the ends, and I want to make sure that I get a lot on my ends so that my ends stay curled. And then I'm going to show you how I apply the flexi rod, which again, this one is a trial, so don't really pay too much attention to this first one. The next one will be a much better example of how I do it, and then the third one, of course, is even better than that. So I'm actually going to speed through this first one so that we don't spend too much time on it and we can get to the real examples. All right, so now you get to see the second flexi rod being applied. First, I am making sure that I section this large section into an even smaller section for the flexi rod. And I'm making sure that the part at the top is actually more even so that I am not pulling hair that should probably go into other sections or would make more sense or would flow better into other curls. And then I am going to apply the mousse. Again, I am only going to use 1 pump of mousse per flexi rod. Sometimes I did get to the ends and I felt like I needed to apply a small amount, so I did like 1/4 of a pump if I needed to add a little bit more to the ends, which you see here. And then I'm going to take the flexi rod, and what you are going to see in the beginning is that I take the ends of my hair and I take the flexi rod and I roll the end of my hair around it. But as I'm rolling the ends around it, I am overlapping the hair so that it holds the hair in place. And then I bend the end of the flexi rod around that after I'm done rolling the rest of my hair. But as I continue to roll the flexi rod towards the back of my hair, I am making sure that the rest of my hair is not overlapping with each other. And I hope that makes sense. So I'm slowly moving the hair up the flexi rod so that there's no overlap, so that it doesn't take too long to dry. And then as I'm bending the flexi rod to secure the hair, I'm trying to make sure that I'm not bending too much of the hair with that so that I get a nice and smooth curl. Okay, so I know that was a little bit complicated and a lot to take in, so I'm going to walk you through another application of the flexi rod. And right now I am again sectioning the hair. This one is a tiny bit larger of a section which I think the other section was a better size, but the way that I apply this is a lot better. So I am putting 1 pump of mousse into my hair, and then I will check the ends to see if it needs a little bit more mousse, which it did. So I added a tiny bit more. And then I just made sure that the mousse was completely through my hair, and I'm just smoothing it in and making sure that no tangles are in my hair. And there we go. I did see that I took way too big of a section, so I put it into 2 sections here. And now I'm wrapping the ends of my hair around the flexi rod and then twirling the flexi rod so that I'm overlapping the hair a little bit. And then I slowly take the hair up as I am twisting it. And I always twist towards the back of my hair because that's how I think the curl looks its best. And then you see here how I didn't take the hair all the way to the top so that I could secure the hair with the flexi rod by bending it, but I'm not bending the hair. So that definitely was a much better display of how you should do it. And then because I applied the mousse to this section of hair with the other section, it already had dried a little bit. So that is one thing about this mousse. It definitely dries very quickly, which is super convenient when you're putting flexi rods in, because you don't want something that is going to take forever to dry because you'll just be in the flexi rods forever, especially if you're like me and you don't have a hooded dryer. So here it is again where I'm twisting it towards the back and then securing it. And that is really all that you have to do. So I'm just going to continue to do that throughout my entire head, but I'll pop back on in just a second to show you all how I do the shorter pieces of my hair because I use the bigger flexi rods there. It's the same technique, but I just want to show you all so you can see it. So I'm finally finished with the bottom section of my hair, and I have moved on to those shorter strands of hair at the top of my head, and I'm going to apply the flexi rod the same exact way. I'm just using the larger flexi rod, so you see me applying the mousse first, and then as I apply the flexi rod, I am going to twirl it towards the back of my head still, even though this is the opposite side of my head. So I did want to show you both sides of my head in this video so you can see that I am still twirling the flexi rod towards the back because I think that it is more consistent and looks better when you are doing it the same way all the way throughout your head. And then I also wanted to quickly note why I decided to use these smaller flexi rods for the longer pieces of hair, because I think that is a bit opposite of like what you would normally do if all of your hair was the same length. So I decided to do that because I wanted my hair to be more tightly curled at the bottom so that it's shorter, and then I wanted the top to be more elongated so that the length of hair is somewhat a little bit more matched, or so that it flows better. So that was my process and how I decided how or what flexi rods I wanted to put where and how I would do it. And then as we're looking at the back of my head right now, you can see that once I get towards the very back, I can't see anything. So some of those sections are a little weird, but it all turned out fine still. So really just filling and going when I get to the back of my hair. But as I go through the rest of my hair, everything is going to be exactly the same. So I'm going to quickly go through that, and then I will show you the takedown process. Really quickly, I forgot to mention that once I get towards the very front, there are some pieces and sections that I will go back and use the very small flexi rods for. So this is one section here. And then once I reach the bang of my hair, I am going to use those smaller flexi rods as well. Now I'm getting very close to the bang of my hair, but you can see that all of the Flexi rods at the top of my head are the larger Flexi rods, except for the one that you saw me apply to the side front of my head. But once I reach the bang, they are all going to be those smaller Flexi rods, and that is just because my bang has grown out a lot, so I do want to use the smaller one so that the bang isn't in my eye, and it just keeps it a little bit shorter and will flow a little bit better at the front of my head. Alright, so I have all of the Flexi rods in now, and I didn't actually use as much product as I thought I would. This is all that I used. So now I'm going to let my hair dry. Bye! I am praying that my hair is dry and turns out okay, because I have been sitting in these Flexi rods for a very long time. But I am going to start by untwisting or unbending the Flexi rod, and then I'm slowly unraveling it by twirling it. And as I untwirl it, I am touching my hair to see if it is dry, since this is the first section. It felt dry, so I'm continuing to unravel, and the curl looks really good. It looks bouncy. So I am feeling good about this Flexi rod set now. I was scared at first, but I'm feeling confident now. So again, I'm just slowly unraveling the curl by rolling the Flexi rod and not really pulling it, but moving away from my face as I roll it, so that I'm not pulling the curl out and I'm not creating frizz. And I just wanted to start with those two to test it, but I do typically like to start at the very back bottom of my head, so that I am not tangling my hair with the Flexi rods as I go through it. It's just easier to start at the bottom. So that is what I'm going to do. And this is a very tedious process. Again, I just do the same exact thing throughout my entire head. So I'm going to speed this along so that we can quickly get through this and get through to the next day where I actually separate my hair. I have finally taken all of the Flexi rods out. I look like Shirley Temple, but I know once I separate this, it is going to look great, so I am excited for tomorrow. I'm not going to do it tonight. I'm going to put my scarf on because I have nowhere to go, and then I'm going to wake up and separate my hair. All right, so it is the next day. I am so scared to take this scarf off. It feels like I smashed my curls, but I don't know. So, okay, it doesn't look like they're too smashed, but they still look a little crazy this morning. So I'm a little concerned as to how they will look as I'm separating them, but I am ready to get in here and see what is going to happen. So before I do anything, I apply oil to the backs and fronts of my fingers. I am using the Main Choice hair polish again, and I am completely covering my hands before I go in. And now I'm going to just separate my hair section by section. So what I do is I pull the curl from the gap that forms between the two curls. If you can see, there was already a gap and I pulled that so that I could separate it there. And then if I don't see a gap, I pull the curl down some so that it forms a gap, and then I just pull these sections apart from there. And I will continue to pull my hair into different sections, into smaller sections, until I get the fullness that I like. But I don't like to separate it too much because one, it starts to create frizz, and then two, I just think my hair lasts longer when it's not separated as much. So there's a balance there, but I've played around with it in the past, so I know about how much I want to separate my hair. So you can see here I'm pulling my curl down to see where that gap is, and then I'm separating the hair from there. And then I'm just going to continue to do this with all of the sections of my hair, and then at the end I will show you all how I like to style my hair to make sure that it's laying down in the right way and that my hair is smooth, the edges of my hair is smooth. So I'll show you that later on, but I'll quickly go through this section so that you don't have to sit here and watch me do this over and over and over again. And as I do this, I do want to quickly talk about the mousse that I used. So I really like it. I feel like it gave me really good hold, but as I was going through my hair and separating my hair, it felt like there was this film on my hands, and at first I thought it was the oil. So I put the anti-Egyptian oil on my hands and tried again, and I got that same film on my hands. So I think it was from the mousse itself. So that was kind of weird, but I don't think it was like a deal breaker or anything like that. I still really do like the mousse. And you can tell from just looking at the curls here how they held through the night and everything. So that just speaks a lot to how well the mousse did. Alright, so I'm going to finish the rest of this off camera, and here it is. You can see that I have separated all of my hair at this point, and now I'm just going in with the pick to add some volume to the front, and I did do the back a little bit as well, but I'm not really doing too much with the pick there. And I did find a few more pieces that needed to be separated as I was filling through my hair. It just felt like they were larger curls, so I'm quickly separating those, and then you will see me pop back on with my toothbrush and my mousse to slay the edges down a little bit, and literally that is it. And then we're finally at the finish line, and you can see the results, and then you'll see the day 3 results as well. And I'm sorry, I know you really can't see what I'm doing too well here, but I am just brushing the side of my hair down, and now I'm looking for a bobby pin to put in my hair, and that's just to hold it down because I don't want to brush it out too much, because I will want to take that out and wear my hair more full in the front some days, and this allows me to do that. So that is all that you're seeing here. I'm just brushing the front into place with my fingers, and then that is all. So just in a couple seconds you will see the final results, and then we'll go into day 3. And this is it. This is the day 1 results. I am loving the curl that I got. I love how it is laying, and I definitely feel like this will last for the week. All right, and this is day 3 here. So I think that the mousse gave me pretty good hold. I did actually smash one of my curls with the scarf the other day, so I had to apply a little water and do a little finger curling to the end of that curl, and the mousse felt like it kicked right back in. I didn't feel that film on my hands that I mentioned before when I went in on day 3 in the morning with oil to make sure that I was pulling my hair in place. So that was nice that I didn't feel that anymore, because that was kind of a gross feeling. But other than that, I completely loved the products. I loved the technique that I used, and I think that the Flexi Rod set came out pretty well. So please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Also, don't forget to hit subscribe. I have some updates coming up about my life and things like that, so you won't want to miss out on that. And as always, I will see you next time.